Hi everybody and welcome to the What I'm Playing series, and this week we're playing Tanks, Andy. Tanks. So switching it up a little bit from the infantry this week, we're going big with big steel. So we have blackouts to get some card draw, a lot of nice German removal here. Panzer 38T is actually a pretty nice little 2-for-1 most of the time. Can come down, draw us a card, and then kind of is a really good trade-off for stuff target. M16 half-track, give us a little tempo. Panzer 3J, always good to see around. Tactical strike, almost always a 2-for-1. Death from above to deal with anything that we just can't get off the battlefield. One of the linchpins for this deck, though, I think at least, is mobilization, because we are very much a mid-range deck with this one. So, you want to use this early removal up here earlier on the curve and then refuel with a mobilization and then start dropping your tanks onto the battlefield. Focke-Wulf 190, pretty much a flying tank. That's its ability. Panzer IV F2, just chews through stuff, just chews it up. It's a great card. Highly recommend. Panzer 1H is just a powerhouse and draws a ton of attention, giving us more of that 2-for-1 value. And then the big fella up at the top of the curve, you can see that it's 8 for the deploy cost. Is going to go up to 9 for the deploy cost. Doesn't really affect this particular deck, but something to keep in mind going forward. I'm playing the videos for this one before the patch goes through, so just keep an eye on that deploy cost. But this is tanks, Andy. It's full of tanks. So let's roll some big tanks and blow some stuff up. Oh, one more thing just before we get going. Air defense is in here. It's kind of a spice card more than anything. A lot of the elites are. It's really good for ambushing stuff early or stopping a comet later on. But if you have to replace this, you can replace it with like any good American order. Cheaper the better, but it's just kind of an extra card in here. So don't be scared off by the elites in this deck. It should be pretty affordable. There's pretty good substitutions for most of them. Admiral Hipper, very similar to what I was saying with the air defense. Tiger 1 can get replaced by big stuff. B-25s can go in for the big fella if you can't find them. The only one you really need for this one is mobilization. So, all right, good diversion there. There's the curve, pretty solid curve. So let's play some tanks, Andy. All right, so first player up here is Leroy. Yeah, we're just going to throw that Panzer back. We don't really need it. We actually don't even need the mobilization. These blackouts will help get us there to start. Let's throw them back. Okay, good. Two nice removal / draw orders. Yeah, we'll take that. Let's just double check our audio settings here. We got a chance. Okay, good. Put that back. Leroy's on a Japanese deck here, so we definitely want to see some sudden strikes early on. And with that in mind, we're going to pop off a blackout early. We really want to see a sudden strike. We don't really want to see these Focke-Wulf 190s till later in the game. So a little bit of a respite from a Japanese player. We'll play another blackout though. Alright, Nebelwerfer is a pretty good one. Nebelwerfer is actually kind of a pseudo. It's kind of got like a little piece of a sudden strike on it, and then if we can get to 6 and start dropping Panzer 3 or Panzer 4s, yeah, that'll work. We'll Nebelwerfer the Akita. Hopefully, alright, they get our Nebelwerfer back. Calculated risk there, but keeps the pressure off of us for the time being. Now we can start tactical striking anything they play. So, see what our opponent's got up next. Thinking it over there. Alright, so they bring up the Me Too. We will shoot it down with a tactical strike. Draw a card. Gunship mission's good. Alright, so we're starting almost already to turn the corner here. Hayabusa will definitely pick that off. Blow that up with a tactical strike. Just keeping the battlefield under control here. Now next turn we can go Panzer into the front line. depending on what our opponent plays. All right, so they play Takasagi Regiment. So this actually gives us a chance to play a Panzer IV and get a little bit of tempo back and make them play that Takasagi again. And saving our other Panzers to maximize their blitz. All right, air defense. Let's draw a card with the Panzer 38T. Okay. All right, and then let's use up all our credits, play our Panzer 3J. If our opponent wants to come into the front line, that's fine. We also have 2 mobilizations, so we're not as afraid of the destruction ability on the Takasagi. The one thing we are a little bit afraid of is them hiding a Hayabusa or something underneath it, so we'll see what they play here. We have a lot of steel out there, a lot of German steel out there. Alright, so Lee and Roy, think about... Okay, so they'll sudden strike our Panzer 38, then they'll play a last rites. So they're on the control plan now. So before those last rites start causing problems, we got to get in here and take care of this stuff. So let's get up to the front line. And, yeah, let's gunship mission. Get a little bit of HQ hit points back, and let's take out that Takasagi. Hopefully we... Alright, they got a mobilization. That kind of stinks. But we still have 1 in hand, plus a nice full hand, and a blackout, so we're okay. We're okay. We're okay with this. You know, another Panzer 3J coming down next turn, or a Nebelwerfer. We're feeling okay. We have a nice wall of steel out here. Alright, so Type 3 Chinu for our opponent. Good card, for sure. Alright, so it has ambush and guard. So, well, let's start with a mobilization. Sudden strike. Death from above is perfect. Half track is also good. So let's use a death from above on the Chinu. Alright, so now we're kind of in the same spot, plus we got to draw some extra cards. That's good. Alright, Kamikaze number 1 for our opponent. Got 7 left, 6 left. Alright, another Takasagi. And a Hayabusa. Okay. Alright, so let's play a blackout. Pin that Hayabusa. Ooh, and there's a Tiger. So I think we just... actually, I think we hold Mr. Tiger for now. Half-track the Takasagi back. Get in for 9 at the opponent's HQ. And we'll put our air defense on just in case something crazy happens, like a Hein or something like that. Okay, another Kamikaze, number 2 for our opponent. Takasagi is back. Alright, and then they have the Kate bomber, so there we go. Air defense coming through. Good job, air defense. Alright, so let's see. Well, first thing I think we're going to do is blackout again. Alright, then I think we want to get some more threats into the... Well, actually, I think since we're playing against Kates, potentially, let's put a Focke-Wulf 190 out there. And let's hit this Takasagi and draw a card. So next turn we can get rid of it and then potentially have lethal damage on the battlefield. So see what our opponent's got here, see if they can get out of this. We're in a pretty good position here. Nice full hand. Little bit of card draw still. You always want to make sure you at least got a little bit of card draw. Those blackouts coming through, pinning these Hayabusas. So we really have our opponent in a tough spot here. You know, I think we gunship mission next turn and then roll the steel in. That wins us the game. Or we can even roll the flying tank in. So let's see what they got. Alright, so they decided to go kamikaze. Another kamikaze. They still got 11 credits. They've gone through 4 kamikazes, so we still have a pretty healthy HQ. Alright, so they come in for a bombing raid. They blow up our M16 there. Alright, an air blitz. We're afraid of air blitzes for sure. They're down to 7 seconds on the clock though. Another air blitz. They're out of credits. So we will get the victory right here. Let's take out this Takasagi. And then roll in with the steel. And let's get the win here. So good start for tanks, Andy. Tanks. Right back in for our next one against GKI or GKI 0807. Alright, so some good early... We're playing against a Stalingrad player as I scroll over it. So some good early removal, but we need some card draw to back it up. Alright, Tactical Strike will get the job done. So let's see what our opponent's up to. Alright, so they start out pretty hot with a 33rd Recon. That's perfect target for Sudden Strike. They don't get the draws, which if they're playing Japanese Soviets, they are probably going to target that next turn with some bloody sickles. So hopefully we'll chew up some bloody sickles here. You know, it looks like they might be on a value Ural Factories deck with the I-15. That's what that kind of signals. So from the people, okay. Alright, big fella. Okay, in this case, I think we take out the I-15 before they can get value off of it. And we'll also take out the I-16. Depending on what they play here next turn, I think we'll go mobilization. We're down to 3 cards in hand. Alright, Takasagi's slow, so that's fine. Yep, we'll play our mobilization now. Okay, we draw a mobilization, and we get a Focke-Wulf to play on curve. That's good. Alright, so a T-34-85. That's trouble for us, for sure. But we can take it out, and we don't fall too far behind on cards. I think what we're going to do instead is go Focke-Wulf to start. Got the big fella coming up in a couple of turns. If he plays another T-34 here, we're not as happy though. We're going to start falling behind then. And right now this T-34 is guarded by the Takasagi Regiment, so see what they decide to do. Imagine they'd go after our HQ. Alright, and they do. Good play by our opponent. See if they move the Takasagi forward, actually. That'd be interesting. Yeah, they do. Okay. Alright, we're in a little bit of a tight spot now. First thing we gotta do is... We can't even do that, really, can we? Well, let's take out this Takasagi Regiment. Hopefully we don't... Okay, we were kind of hoping to discard a gunship mission there, actually. And let's draw some more. Our HQ is going to take a pounding for sure. We get a death from above, though, so that's helpful. So we just got to take out whatever our opponent plays here, and then we can death from above this T-34. And we have plenty of orders in hand to either bounce something or do that for us. It looks like they're going to attack with their T-34, see if they play anything. And they do. Okay. Alright. So we can actually get some HQ hit points back, or defense back. That's helpful. Let's take out the... What is this, the 34th? It's gone anyway. And then let's death from above the T-34. So we clear the board. We get a little HQ help back. We did burn through both of our mobilizations though, so we gotta play pretty smart here the rest of the way. Okay, a Hind for our opponent. Alright, well let's get the big fella out there. Eat up that Hind. And let's see. We got another gunship mission which we might have to fire off just to keep our HQ healthy. Because they're going to be playing blitz stuff, but... Alright, so they bloody sickle their own 35th Rifle Regiment. That's a good sign for us. Might have turned the corner when we got rid of the Hind. Alright, they have a 33rd Recon. And they pass the turn. Great. So we're going to blow up that 35th Rifles. And we're going to blow up the 33rd Recon just to cut off any more card draw for our opponent. And we're going to send the big fella in. Get a clock on our opponent. As long as we don't see anything too crazy here. Blitz tanks are tough. We don't want to see blitz tanks. Alright, we can see a Type 93 for sure. Okay, let's do a blackout and pin the I-15 at minimum. Okay, and a blitz tank. That's what we really wanted to see off the top. So let's get our Panzer 3J going. Let's see. We want to take out the Type 93 for sure. And then let's hit their HQ. And we're going to pass the turn. So you can kind of see we got to finish the game quickly because we can get outclassed. But we're in a good position to do so. Our opponent's down to 3 cards in hand. We have more card draw on the way. And a half track. And a half track's going to get us our run in at their HQ, which is perfect. Then we'll play a Panzer, just get another card draw in. We have Focke-Wulfs in the that can finish things off if our big fella goes down. So we're feeling good. Wall of Steel. See what our opponent does. Alright, they hammer our... And then they, from the people, our M16, get the fighter back out there. They need the fighter out there in order to guard their HQ, but they don't know that we have our other half-track in hand. So let's use our half-track, put the fighter back in their hand, get the big fella in to eat up the rest of the HQ, and tanks, Andy, tanks. 2 wins for tanks, Andy. And let's see if we crash right here. Because the animation keeps going. So, oh, there it goes. Okay. So another win for Tanks Andy, and let's get back for the last one. Alright, and up here for our last one with Tanks Andy. We're up against Ice Rat. Interesting name. Alright, we have some good removal, blackouts, kind of some card draw, and if we do fall behind, we have this M16, so sure, we'll keep this hand. Alright, nothing from our opponent, that's great. Plus we grab an Admiral Hipper, which is a nice either on curve or save for later play. Alright, if we're playing against discard, I'm going to be upset. And that would really make it a rainy day here, but let's see. Maybe it's just a one-off. Alright, so they have a Stug. Well, let's take out the Stug with our sudden strike. Pass the turn back. Trying to get up to 5 and 6 as quick as we can. Alright. So Panzer's tough. Panzer's tough for us to deal with. Because next turn we can Admiral Hipper it, but this turn we're going to take a whack from it. So let's go in with a gunship mission to kind of save ourselves a little bit of damage. Let's try that. Alright, so they chew up almost their entire turn on getting the Panzer out. So let's see, let's Admiral Hipper. Put that back in their hand, kind of preserve our HQ. I would imagine they're going to put it back out. Okay, but they decide, oh, they didn't have the credits to move it, so let's put it back in their hand with a Panzer IV. So we gotta like, that's a big tempo swing right there. Alright, so they have a skua to pin our Panzer, but that's okay. Let's see. We can go with a double gunship mission, and that leaves us with 3. I think what we're going to do instead is play the Focke-Wulf and dare the skua to come in. They have quite the hand over there, though, so let's see. Alright, tactical strike takes out our Tiger, or our Panzer, excuse me. Alright, see what else they got. Alright, so they have a Panzer 38, and they draw a card. Alright, so we get another Focke-Wulf. Alright, let's take out the skua. And let's take the front line with the Panzer. I was tempted to play another Focke-Wulf out there, but I'd rather have control of the front line against a German player. Especially with a nice beefy body like the Panzer 3J. Alright, so they have the Grenadier Guards. Not too worried about the Grenadier Guards. We have plenty that can deal with the Grenadier Guards. So let's put that back in their hand with a Panzer. And let's get 6 in at their HQ. Sure. Then have to imagine the Grenadier Guards are going to come down again. We can half-track them. There's the Grenadier Guards again. Alright, and a 980 Volks Grenadier. Alright, so this time we have to go half-track on the Grenadier Guards. And let's get some attacks in. We can only attack with one of these. So we're definitely going to want to attack with the Focke-Wulf, because that gets us in lethal range next turn with our double gunship mission. So now I would have to imagine the Grenadier Guards come down again. We have this wall of steel in the front line, Focke-Wulf, and an M16, but then our aces in the hole are our gunship missions here. So they're going to try and fight back. We take out the Panzer 38. They sudden strike our M16. But we're just going to we're not even going to mess around. We're just going to double gunship mission the HQ and get a nice tidy 3 for 3 here with Tanks Andy. So there we go. And let's head over and we can do our deck tech quick. So outro here for Tanks Andy. I think you saw this one really hit on all cylinders, and it's really designed to do that. That opening hand, you want to see some early removal, which can be sudden strikes or gunship missions. Blackout really plays kind of a dual role here, kind of defending us from Hayabusas or other planes while also drawing us through the deck. Then you have these Panzer 38Ts, which are pretty good just because they have that special little 3-word combo, draw a card on them. Panzer 3J, always a workhorse for these kind of decks. And then you get into these kind of higher end removal packages, but I think the one game you really saw how important mobilization is. It's really the card that keeps the engine running, and sometimes when you can fire off 2 in a game, that can be the difference. The 190 I think you saw in action, pretty good plane, especially for the Germans, and then this high-end stuff, always good. Cannot recommend the Panzer IV F2 enough for crafting purposes for new players. Both, like I said in the intro, both the Tiger and the B-17 are pretty replaceable though, so if you don't have them, Admiral Hipper is definitely replaceable, and air defense is pretty replaceable. It did save our bacon against that Kate bomber in the first game, but it's pretty replaceable if you need to replace it. You know, we just put another half-track in or something that can take care of that spot, or even another death from above. But mobilization's the card that really kind of makes this deck work. It's a very simple card, 5 credits, draw 3 cards, but I think you saw the power of doing that in a deck like this where you have a lot of haymakers in it. So that's Tanks Andy, and that's what I'm playing this week. It's been working pretty well. If you like our content, please consider supporting us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/cardspodcast. Or just like, share, and subscribe. Hit us up on Discord or Twitter, or drop by for a stream. That's twitch.tv/cardspodcast. Those are every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, USA. Just check that for your local time zone. Or you can hit us up on Discord or Twitter. Maybe I already said that. I can't remember. It's been a long day. A lot of recording today. All right. But that's Tanks Andy, everybody. Really appreciate the support, especially from our patrons and our subscribers. Very, very much appreciated. You guys are incredible. And we will talk to you soon. See you on the battlefield.